So, and we keep going on the 4-6 profile on the right angle cross of the rulership. Where I get nervous with the 26 is when it goes into the upper trigram because it gets kind of tricky there. You get to the fourth line and you get to the line of censorship, the alteration of memory through elimination. Very Platonic. You've got Pluto Saturn here. Pluto says the ability through censorship to save the collectivity from itself. Oh, if you believe that you're a scary person, and yet that's one of the main pitches. You can see the fourth line networking, how it maintains its network through censorship. You can put the truth out to the whole network because everything will collapse. Every 26 sells sunshine because everybody's life is full of misery. So they sell them sunshine. The promise is always there. Censorship is great, says the 26-4. It's a 4-6, and I'm dealing with a 4-6. You have to see that these are the kinds of beings that there was a whole spat of this in the States not long ago. These people that suddenly remember that they were abused when they were children. It's like the adults and they're going through this long process, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they realize that they were actually abused when they were young. Not only that, people who suddenly remember after 30 years they were abducted by aliens or whatever. But there is this phenomenon. The whole thing about the 4-6 here is that when they go up on the roof, they try to eliminate their past. This is the thing. This is the way of trying to save themselves. They try to eliminate their past, so they try to bury all these things. Now, that's something very strong about the fourth line beings. Genetic continuity being what it is. So that so much of the fourth line consciousness is rooted in the fact that many things that are repressed from the early part of the life, and whether those things that are repressed are in fact destabilizing factors to the psychology or not, it's going to vary. And it's going to vary given the characters, the overall designs, and many things. It's so important to see that these are beings that when you meet them on the roof, they don't even want to remember that part of their life. And these are the ones that will go through the deepest shock when they get to the other side. They have to come off the roof because the past shows up. No matter how hard I try to censor things, in this day and age, it's practically impossible. If you were a Roman historian at the time of the defeat of Carthage, it would be possible to write history. That's a lie, and no one would ever know because a whole culture was destroyed and everything was destroyed. There are no records. There's no way of verifying what the Roman destruction of Carthage, which actually makes them look like killer monkeys with a problem, which obviously they were not. They had quite a culture. In this day and age, censorship is very difficult. You can have temporary censorship, but even temporary censorship is undermined by new technologies. So this alteration of memories tends to get personalized rather than externalized. It isn't to say, by the way, that censorship is the rule in tribal communication. It is. It's not like I'm going to write a HDVC a human design VC update and talk about what is upsetting in people. That's not my job. I don't do that. I write HD VC updates so that people think that we are all right. It's like this whole business with the Pope or this or that or whatever. Every organization, any kind of display that operates through the certain levels of censorship. It doesn't have a big evil. It doesn't have to be a big evil. But again, it's this way of empowering will. Will is a big problem on the earth. So many beings don't have access to constant willpower. And the tribe says that will be molded as a whole. And this censorship business is a way in trying to get the tribe to stay with certain teams. And always with a promise. Altering memory is also physical. We have practices that exist in forms of rulership to try to erase people's memories. But I think the thing that really needs to be understood is that the very brotherhood, sisterhood of the fourth line is rooted in some kind of censorship. And that you only see it emerge when you see their meanness and you see it coming out because they're really not that friendly. They're not. 4-6 always appear to be friendly, and it doesn't mean that they are. It's just a mechanism after all. And through the meanness, you can see that there are things that are not brotherly or sisterly. They are censored, and they're allowed to actually come to the surface. So yeah, watch out with these 4-6s, or being your friend, especially.